everyone, and welcome to our Housing Live, where we are going to be talking all things roommate selection. My name is Catherine.
I'm Chris.
And we're very excited that you're joining us today. So really what we want to do is talk a little bit about the roommate selection process, what you need to know in order for it to be a successful process for you all, and really like all the ins and outs, right? Answer your questions. We did on social media, we asked for some frequently asked questions, so we will be answering those at the very end. And this video will have timestamps, so you'll be able to go back and reference these questions at a later time with your friends that you might want to be living with, or your family members, or anything like that. So very important that you pay attention and watch all the way until the end. So real quick, what we want to do is a roommate selection overview. We definitely want you to, I think we've talked about this maybe in every single one of our videos, the importance of our website.
Oh, it's huge. That has all the information you need. We have step-by-step guides. We have all the important dates out there. All the information you might need is answered on the website.
Absolutely. On the website and also on the housing portal. And you're the housing portal expert here.
Sure. Expert is a stretch. But yeah, the housing portal has all the resources you might need.
Yes. And so website, housing portal are crucial for you to find important information about the roommate selection process and really all processes that have to do with the housing application. One thing that we definitely want to talk about during this step is that it is optional. And so it's not mandatory for students to select a preferred roommate.
Absolutely. You could go through this whole process and not pick a preferred roommate and still get to room selection and be totally fine. And in all honesty, doing it that way is going to be easier in the long run. But yeah. I know a lot of y'all have friends from high school or maybe a sibling that you might want to live with.
Yeah. And so if you want to take your chances and go with the wind and kind of do this process by yourself, you are more than welcome to. But if you would like to select a preferred roommate, then definitely pay attention to the rest of this video. So for first year students, they're going to be able to see students that are in the same gender and the same campus as they are. But quick distinction, if there are any upper class students watching this video, this one isn't for you.
Right, the roommate selection only applies to first year students. Unfortunately, upper class students can't pick roommates.
That's right. Students who are going to be participating in a living learning village or an LLV will see other students who are also in that same LLV. Another thing that we want to say with this process is to take your time. This is like, how do you say it? It's like dating.
It's dating.
It's
exactly.
dating.
Yeah, you're swiping right on Tinder or Bumble or Hinge or whatever app you use. You got to find the right match, but especially if you don't have someone you already know coming into KSU. Again, take your time. We'll talk about time tickets in a little bit, but you know, once your time ticket opens, this process is indefinite until it closes on a specific day.
That's right. And so, and you'll see that information about when it opens and when it closes on our website. Keep in mind that you can't complete the step 2 process, so this process of selecting a roommate, if you haven't paid the $200 application initiation fee, which is non-refundable. So if you haven't paid that or signed your license agreement, then you won't be able to see the step 2 portion in the housing portal because it doesn't know that you want to continue on with the steps. So until you've paid that $200 application initiation fee or signed your license agreement, then you won't be able to move on to the next step. And Chris already mentioned this, but we've got step-by-step guides on our website. Really, if you don't want to sit through this whole video, then you're welcome to go ahead and just visit our website and check out all of the step-by-step guides that we've got for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Catherine mentioned the housing portal. That is where all the action takes place. Now, if you've already started a housing application, you're familiar with the housing portal, but it is on our website. We're going to talk about time tickets now. So for the next 2 steps in our process, the roommate selection and room selection, we issue time tickets for our housing portal. Now all that is, consider it an on-ramp to a highway. We issue time tickets based on the date and time students sign their license agreement. And we use time tickets so that we can help manage our server capacity, where we're allowing a very small portion of students in. Right now, it's 20 students every 15 minutes that we will let into the housing portal to start this process. There's a screen recording right now that's going to show you where to find your time tickets. In the housing portal, the minute you log in, there's going to be a little box that says, hey, here's your roommate selection time ticket. If you missed that for whatever reason, you can click on the roommate or room selection in the gold menu bar, and it'll drop you to a roommate selection unavailable page that will also show you again your time ticket and when this process actually opens up for you. Again, like Catherine said, we will issue time tickets based off the date and time you signed your license agreement in step 1. But in order to move forward, you do have to pay the $200 application initiation fee to be able to see potential roommates.
That's right.
And the system itself is pretty intuitive. When it comes time to select your roommates, again, we have a step-by-step guide on our website that will walk you through the whole thing. But we've built it in such a way that you should just be able to click through the different prompts and see exactly what roommate selection is going to look like. Now, we do have another screen recording that we'll show here at the end of this section. But roommate selection, again, totally optional. You don't have to do this step at all if you don't want to. But if you do, we use what are called roommate pairs. We've mentioned preferred roommate. You only get to preference one roommate.
One. Yes.
So a roommate pair, a max capacity is 2 students at any given time. And so when you get into roommate matching, talk with your friends, especially if you know someone that you're going to live with. Go ahead and decide who has the earlier time ticket and who will create the roommate pair. Because let's say Catherine and I wanted to be roommates. I could go in there, I have an earlier time ticket, I click create pair, and I name it whatever I want. Owls take flight, that's what's on the screen recording. I create a password for that group, I give that to Catherine. When her time ticket opens up, she can search for that specific roommate pair name, and then it'll prompt her to provide that password to join the group. There's many different ways to create a roommate pair, that's one of them. Another way is to just go start looking for roommates. When you log into the roommate matching process, you can search for potential roommates by first name, last name, or you could say, I don't know anybody, show me recommended roommate matches. And once you click that button, it'll show you 10 students at a time, and it'll actually give you a percentage match that you are with that person. Now, the percentage match is based on the questions you filled out in step 1, the little questionnaire about how you like to live, what time you go to bed, how cold or hot you like to suite, if you're messy or clean. Depending on how you answered those questions, it'll say, oh, Catherine's an 85% match for you. Now, again, we said this is very much like dating. So when you see a potential roommate, you can click on their profile. You can see how they answered their specific roommate questions. You can look at their social media if they decided to share that during step 1. You can take as long as you want with this process until it closes. So again, there's a step-by-step video in here. Something to keep in mind that when you request someone as a roommate, they have 7 days to either accept your invitation or decline it. After 7 days, it automatically expires. So keep that in mind. Again, if you have a later time ticket, one of the ways, if you're looking for a specific person and you can't find them for some reason, chances are they might be on a different campus, they could be in a living learning village, or they could already be in a roommate group.
Yes.
That's why it's important to communicate. So if I want to room with Catherine and we both create a roommate group, neither one of us will be able to see each other. So again, communication upfront and often is critical to this process.
Yeah. One part that is really important in the roommate selection process is going to be that roommate pair leader. And so this leader becomes really a very important person when it comes to step 3. And so during this roommate selection process, you're kind of preparing yourself for the next and final step, which is room selection. And this is where you're going to pick your pair leader. So the pair leader should be the one person out of the 2 that has the earliest time ticket. And the reason that you want the person with the earliest time ticket is because when their time ticket opens first, then they're going to be the person that's going to be able to select the room for not only themselves, but also for their other roommate. And so it's very important that when you go in and make a roommate group, a roommate pair, that you mark the leader as the person with the earliest time ticket. Now, it doesn't have to be the person that created the group from the very beginning, but just make sure that before step 3 opens, you mark the person with the earliest time ticket as the pair leader. And we have a quick video that will show you the steps on how to do that. So just make sure that you are watching that carefully in order to make the right selection.
And we've made it easy for students. So
Yes.
once you have a roommate pair created, we will actually show you your time ticket and the time ticket of your roommate. And so if you're the pair leader and your time ticket is later, there's a really quick button that just says, make this other person the pair leader, and then their time ticket will be better suited for you to get the room that you want.
That's right. Another question that we get all the time is, well, okay, we talk to each other, we're kind of like in there right now. How do I reach out to them? How do I talk with them? And we definitely recommend talking to your roommates before getting to campus. The first thing that you can do is message them in the housing portal. And so the housing portal has a messaging system that allows you to send basically an email, right? An email communication to the person in your roommate group. And ask them questions and talk. But I think you also have the opportunity to message students before you select them as roommates, correct?
You can, yeah. You can send messages throughout the process. Again, some students opted to share their cell phone, their Instagram, their Snapchat. So feel free to reach out to them whatever way is comfortable for you.
That's right. And on the profiles that you'll see on the portal, you'll be able to see that information. So cell phone numbers, emails, social media profiles, if the student has decided to share it.
Right.
If they have not decided to share that information, do not call Talon One or email housing. We can't give that out. It's illegal, so we won't do that. But feel free to message them through the housing portal if they haven't decided to share any of their personal information that way. And so this process is pretty simple, actually. We've kind of covered all the things that we said.
That's pretty much it. I mean, once the video is out there, you'll be able to see the bookmarks of different talking points. The step-by-step guide is hugely helpful. But again, it's an optional step. Once you get in there and your time ticket is open, it's pretty intuitive.
That's right. And so we'll go ahead and take some time now to answer some frequently asked questions. We had our awesome social media team reach out and ask for questions from you all that were frequently asked. And so we want to take time to make sure that we are really harping on those, make sure that you have all the right answers, and we'll go from there. So if you want to live in a 4x4 kind of unit, so 4x4 meaning 4 beds, 4 bathrooms. So if you want to live in that style of unit, but you only have one preferred roommate, what happens to the other 2 rooms?
So we don't manually assign any rooms until we're on a wait list. So let's say you and your roommate take 2 of those 4 beds. The other 2 remaining beds will be available for other roommate pairs or solo students to go pick on their own. So yeah, we won't be assigning people. It'll be other students who select those vacant beds.
And during the room selection video, this question always comes up is, okay, well, what if we have 2 other friends that we want to live with? How can we try to live together? So go and watch that video and we'll explain it there.
Yes.
So what if I don't have a specific person that I want as a roommate? That's another question that we get all the time.
So that honestly is the scenario I was in college. I went off to school in South Carolina, didn't know anybody. And if you don't know anybody, you have 2 choices. 1, you don't have to go through this process. You can just skip it altogether. Or 2, you can just start searching. I would recommend clicking on the recommended roommate matches section once your time ticket opens. That'll spit out what the system believes are compatible roommates for you. And do a little light perusing on their profile, look at their social media, see if you're a good fit with them, and then communicate with them and just see if they might want to be your roommate. We see a lot of students who go into this process not knowing who they're going to live with, and they end up having someone great to live with.
Best friends. for
Best
life.
friends for life.
Yeah. All right, so another question that we received is, can graduate students live on campus?
Absolutely. Our housing is open to any enrolled KSU student. You could be an undergraduate, graduate, PhD student. All the housing is available to you.
Yeah, graduate students would be considered upper class students.
Yes.
And so this particular portion that comes to like roommate selection wouldn't apply to you all.
Correct. Yeah.
So thank you so much for all of those questions. If you have other questions, I really recommend that you visit our website first. There are I promise we probably answered it.
Oh, 100 times.
Yeah.
Our website will answer any question you have. We'll also be putting stuff out on social media,
That's right.
different videos and media and whatnot. So please check that out as well.
Yes, so don't forget to follow us on social media at Housing KSU. And if you do have other questions that you don't find on the website or on social, then reach out to the Talon One Service Center. They are open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Their information is going to be on the screen, but please feel free to reach out to them. They are very, very knowledgeable about really all things housing and campus services. So, and then check out the next video. So this is roommate selection. We got one more step to go, which is going to be room selection, and we'll make sure to answer all of your questions there as well. So we'll see you then. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.